Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Game God Fluent bringing you episode 1 of what's going to be a new deep dive Let's Try. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, when I say that I spent hours scouring the Total Overhaul mods for this game, I was having a very hard time picking just one because there's quite a few, but I think I found the one that we want to do here. It is a very RPG-esque mod. There's a lot of fantasy elements. It's high fantasy, whereas the other ones I was looking at were lower fantasy, but still very cool. There's quite a few good overhauls that makes it very hard to choose just one for this game. So we're going to jump into this together. I do not have a lot of experience with the game, so we're going to be flying blind, which is kind of how I like it. You guys may have more experience with it than I do, but we'll jump in together here. Hope you'll tag along and see what there is to see as we see the sights and do the deeds and have fun together. So without further ado, guys, let's get it in. It's your boy bringing you episode 1 of Let's Try Mount&Blade Warband. Legacy of the Dragon is the name of the module that we'll be playing right there. Bong bong. I'm going to go ahead and check it out. We're going to look at the options. We're going to look at character creation today. And I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll check it out. Tail World's Entertainment, and then bouncing to Legacy of the Dragon. There's a dragon right there, it looks like. There's all sorts of fantasy races and different elements to this one that we're going to check out, and here we are. Bong bong. Turn me up in the headphones. Let's look at options. Lance control, manual, easy, manual, hard. Okay, normal. Everything is average or normal. Bong bong. Battle size, we can turn that up to 150. Mouse sensitivity is fine. Let's look at the graphics. Anti-aliasing, we'll turn that to 8. Everything else is maxed out to the fullest that I can, and then controls will learn these as we go. Toggle weapon mode. X, E is kick, space is jump, F is action. Equip different items 1 through 4. Scroll up and scroll down is useful. Drop weapon is G, so we'll stay away from that. Sheath weapon, that's nice. That's backspace. Leave location tab, zoom shift, first person R, backspace view orders. Very nice. Character, inventory, party, quests, log, quick save is F12. So that's interesting. Send message to everyone. Let's change that. Okay, wait, leave it at T, but let's put, say, sheath weapon as T. That'd be easier. Others is equal, nearby soldiers, different groups, different orders. Okay, so that should be good to go. So, I can't click done for some reason. No key assigned, backspace. Okay, now we can hit done. Alright, and let's start a new game. You need to have a spell book in your inventory to access wizard spells. That's good to know. We may be referring to the wiki for this game as time goes on. I'm not sure about it though. As you guys may know, I do like to play blind and just wing it and try to figure it out as we go. But anyway, welcome adventurer to Legacy of the Dragon. Before beginning the game, you must create your character. In this mod, you will find the option to create characters belonging to certain fantasy races and might encounter some spine-chilling fantasy foes. The realm of Aejdaria offers rewards to those who are willing to earn it and also poses dangers to those who let their guards down. So let's go ahead and continue. Select your gender, will be male. Select your character's race. There's a bunch of cool races to check here. I'm going to go with my favorite race, half elf. Need to be half orc or vampire. Oh, and if we look at the other races, we have male. There's undead, orcs, goblins, ogres. Very cool, but we'll be half elf. You're a half elf born to elven and human parents. You possess qualities of both races, however, you never really fit in either culture. Although you have a long lifespan, it's not nearly as long as that of a pure-blooded elf. You were born years ago in a land of magic, war, and opportunity. Your father was, say, a noble. You descend from the landowning nobility of the realm with at least tens of servants at their disposal, with the right to carry the family banner and awarded with a respect that hasn't been earned by you from almost everyone you come across. Then years pass and you've grown. As a young adult, life changed as it always does. You became... I'm going to say maybe a thief. You are a rogue hiding in the battlefield waiting for an opportunity to strike your enemies from behind. You're a master of thievery, able to steal a pouch from under the nose of a wary foe. So we could be that, or we could be a student of arcane arts. You're a mage, whether you're a wizard, sorcerer, necromancer, or a warlock. You cast spells that break havoc in your enemy's lines and protect your friends. I'm going to be a rogue, I think, so we'll be a thief. Become an adventurer and ride your destiny, and now we pick a banner. That one's pretty cool. I think we'll go with that. What will the game's saving policy? We'll say allow me to quit without saving. Now enter your name and distribute your attributes, skill, and weapon points. You can click on various elements on the screen to learn how each one will affect your character. Here's our stats. Agility, weapon master, shield, athletics, riding, horse archery, looting, power throw, power draw. Strength is iron flesh, power strike, and +1 to hit points, which we have 41 of. Intelligence. Every point of intelligence immediately gives 1 extra skill point. The following skills cannot be developed beyond 1/3 of intelligence, so trainer, tracking, tactics, pathfinding, spotting, inventory management, wound treatment, surgery, first aid, and engineer, and then charisma. Increases your party size limit by 1 each point. The following skills can also not be developed beyond 1/3 of charisma: prisoner management, persuasion, leadership, and trade, which I value heavily, so we'll get 2 points of cha, a point of intelligence, and a point of strength. Up to 42 HP. So now let's look at the skills. I'm not going to go through each one pretty well. We might trade. Every level of this skill reduces your trade penalty by 5%. We'll go ahead and get another point of that, taking it to 2. Prisoner management. Oh no, leadership. Every point increases maximum number of troops you can command by 5, increases your party morale, and reduces troop wages by 5%. Leader skill, we'll get another point of that, taking it to 3. Prisoner management. Every level of this skill increases max number of prisoners by 5. We'll get a point of that. Necromancy. With this skill, you can raise the dead from their graves to serve your will. Each point increases the number of undead you can summon at one time. It's tempting, but I'll pass on that. Magic power. With this skill, you bend and weave, manipulate the elements, or seek aid from your god to cast various spells. Each point increases the effectiveness of your spells. We'll get a point of that, taking it to 1. Alchemy. With this skill, you can conjure various magical potions that help you and your allies in combat. Magical skill. We'll get a point of that. Persuasion. Helps you make other people accept your point of view. It also lowers the minimum level of relationship needed to get NPCs to do what you want. Personal skill, we'll get a point of that. Engineer allows you to construct siege equipment and fief improvements. First aid, heroes regain 5% per level of hit points lost during mission. Surgery, each point of this skill gives a 4% chance that a mortally struck party member will be wounded rather than killed. Wound treatment, party healing speed is increased by 20% per level of this skill. Inventory management increases inventory capacity by +6 per skill level. We'll get a point of that, taking it to 2. Spotting, party seeing range is increased by 10% per skill level. Pathfinding, party map speed is increased by 3% per skill level. A lot of good skills here, guys. Tactics, every 2 levels of this skill increases starting battle advantage by 1. Tracks become more informative tracking. Trainer, every day each hero with this skill adds some experience to every other member of the party whose level is lower than his or hers. Experience gain goes as follows with a bunch of numbers. Looting, this skill increases the amount of loot obtained by 10% per skill level. We'll get a point of that, and we're out of skill points. So I didn't even get into these top ones yet, but we have a 4 in riding. Enables you to ride horses of higher difficulty levels and increases your riding speed and maneuverability. We have a 1 in Weapon Master, makes it easier to learn weapon proficiency and increases the proficiency limits. We have a 2 in Power Draw, lets character use more powerful bows. Each point of this skill up to 4 plus Power Draw requirement of the bow increases bow damage by 14%. We have a 1 in Power Throw, each point of this skill increases throwing damage by 10%. And a 3 in Power Strike. Each point of this skill increases melee damage by 8%. Now we have weapon proficiencies. We have a 97 with archery, 80 with throwing. Let's get one-handed weapons up. And then take that all the way and enter our name, Aejdaria, and let's see how it goes. We're going to jump in and hit done. Oh, we still have to adjust the character's looks. There's like 4 faces. We'll get some age going. Check out different hairs. Check different hairs on our character. See if we can get a man bun going. It's close. Wow. Oh, now we're back to the same ones. We'll go with that. Color. Go with like brown. I don't think there's any way we can. I don't think these affect too much. They don't seem to affect at all. I'm not sure why. Maybe you just gotta go with the basics that we see over here. I am colorblind, so it's a bit tough for me to pick out the colors. But I think we'll go with that character right there. It done? You hear about Aejdaria, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy, and as the only remaining patch of life and civilization on the world of Dunya, a land under threat from all sides, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Aejdaria and its kingdoms, you And now we get to choose where we want to start at. I really don't know any of these. Let's start in Leon Fair, the Kingdom of Aejdaria. Seems like the most human and basic one. Nazarite Sultanate, I take as like a desert place. Kingdom of Aejdaria, no clue. Tamuzian Confederacy. The Eolings. Orcish Khanate of Piled Skulls, so that's the Orcish Kingdom. Eurasia, Dreadburg, I don't know. Let's go to Leon Fair though, in the Kingdom of Aejdaria. You came by caravan through the heartland of Aejdaria. Green shoots of wheat, barley, and oats are beginning to push through the dark soil of the rolling hills. And on the lower slopes of the snow-capped mountains, herds of cattle and sheep are grazing on the spring grass. Occasionally, too, you catch sight of one of the great war horses that are the pride of the Aejdarian nobility. The land here is rich, but also troubled, as the occasional burnt-out farm bears witness. The men talk in fear about the goblins raiding caravans passing by this area, and it's some relief when you crest a ridge and catch a sight of the great port of Leon Fair, its rooftops made golden by the last rays of the setting sun. You're exhausted by the time you find the inn in Leon Fair and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. And immediately we're thrown into something here. We're getting shot at. And we can at least... Oh, we got him. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. A merchant of Leon Fair. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while checking the street, and then finally convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Merchant of Leon Fair. Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye on the streets, but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking, a lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Aejdaria to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? I'm interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work that's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay, so take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it in advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Leon Fair after you've got your group together. Then we'll speak about what we do next. Alright, you've taken your first quest. You can view it by pressing Q in the notes section. Collect 5 men. Then find and speak with the merchant of Leonfair. Game log, empty recent messages. It tells you everything. Bandit was killed. We got 80 XP, 100 dinars. We'll check out the this stuff, lore and factions, different information about the game. We'll get into this as we go in future episodes. Little quick info though, Legacy of the Dragon is a high fantasy mod for Mount&Blade Warband, which entirely revamps the map and the lore of the base game. The mod features a classical high fantasy setting with elves, dwarves, dragons, orcs, goblins, giants, wizards, and so on. Legacy of the Dragon inherits most of the gameplay aspects of the base game, but offers a new experience in a land of magic. The player will be able to create their characters belonging to one of the 5 fantasy races in addition to humans, cast various kinds of magic, summon undead and demons, practice alchemy, and venture into dungeons in search of plunder or glory. And I thought all that sounded pretty awesome. So here's the characters list. We're not going to get into this just yet. Right now we have 100 renown, no controversy, and no fiefs. I think that's how you pronounce that, fief. There's a bunch of locations, as you can see, tons of them. Here's the factions: Kingdoms of Aslania, and then the Kingdom of Aejdaria, Kingdom of the Eelings, Kingdom of Eurasia, Nazarene Sultanate, Orcish Khanate, Piled Skulls, and the Talmuzian Confederacy is at war with the Nazarene Sultanate. Declared war. They declared war to regain lost territory. The fighting has begun relatively recently, and the war may continue for some time. Alright, so here we are. There's nothing else to do in the merchant's house. Press tab to leave now. You can press tab to quickly exit any location in the game. And here we are. So let's take a look at the map quickly. We're at Leonfair. Here's Nasera down here. Aetalon, Bazenden. Places on this little peninsula over here. Even a place here on this iceberg. Some snow areas. Pretty nice map. Not the biggest out of the overhauls, but still very nice. Plenty of places to check out as we go, but we're in Leonfair right now. So let's start. Let's look at our inventory. We've got leather gloves on, +2 to body armor, a courser horse, which has armor of 12, speed of 50, maneuver 44, a charge of 12. I'm not sure. Oh, charging, okay. Requires riding 2, which we have. Ragged light leather boots, 13 to leg armor, light leather, 26 body, 7 leg armor. We've got throwing knives, as we've seen, 19 cutting damage. Smoked fish, +4 to party morale. Battered old round shield, 2 resist, 100 size, 93 speed, and we have a knife, which does 2 more damage, cutting, swinging, but also 13 piercing. Can't be used to block. It has a 110 speed, 40 weapon reach, which is pretty low. And that's everything we're carrying. So we have 28 body armor, 20 leg armor, no head armor. Encumbrance 11.8. So since we have no head armor, we have 290 dinars. Let's head into Leonfair. You're now viewing the overland map. Left click on the map to move your party to that location. Enter the selected town or pursue the selected party. Time will pause on the overland map if your party's not moving, waiting, or resting. To wait anywhere, simply press and hold down the space bar. We're going to go here, visit the marketplace, look at the armor merchant, hold down control key while clicking on an item to quickly purchase or sell it. We'll see if we can afford some sort of helmet. These are not even close to being affordable. But the further we come down, see, +6 to head armor, +16 to head armor, sturdy step cap. I think we're going to buy that for 62. Now we have 16 head armor too, and I don't think we're going to find anything better. Oh, that's a 10, okay. We have a 16. We're not going to find anything better that we could use than what we've already got. 21 to head armor, that's 203 though. And then it gets more expensive, so we have to pay 62. We'll do that. Bong bong. The Arms Merchant. Rusty Saber 193. That'd be pretty nice. It has a weapon reach of 97 versus 40. So double the weapon reach and then some. 27 cut versus 19 or 21. Bent crossbow. I'd like to see our skills though, because I don't know if we were that great in one-handed weapons. That's pretty nasty, but it requires strength of 8. The bent crossbow, 46 piercing. Plain board shield cannot be used on horseback. It's a big, nice shield. A cracked jousting lance, 12 blunt damage. Weapon reach of 240 though. Battered orc shield. Resistance goes up to 10. Speed rating goes down 6. I'm not sure about that. Nice shield though. There's a lot we can get here. Pitchfork. Cracked hunting crossbow. Let's return, no cost. And leave for a second. Let's look at our character. So we're great with archery, throwing, and getting up there with one-handed weapons. So go to the marketplace, arms again. Great with archery. We don't have an archery solution here. We have throwing. Battered orc shield. I think I'm going to get the rusty saber. I know we should probably get something archery related, but cracked Uyakun bow. But there's nothing really in there's a heavy pickaxe. Nothing really in our price range except maybe the cracked hunting crossbow. And then we have to get bolts for it, which 29 of them cost 111 plus 1 to damage. I'm gonna get the rusty saber and replace the knife with it. And let's see, 27 cutting damage, I take it. 99 speed, but 97 reach. We'll go ahead and sell the knife. So we have to pay 189 of our 228. Oh, we're not gonna have enough to hire peeps. I can't do that. So we're gonna look at something like it's a pole arm. There's not much we can do. Unless maybe we get the bolts and the cracked hunting crossbow. We have to pay 125. That leaves us with 100. And no main weapon. What did I do with that knife? So we have to pay 129, which is literally leaves us with about 100. And we still have smoked fish plus 4 to party morale. Sure, let's do it. Let's assess the local prices while we're here. You overhear several discussions about the price of trade goods across the local area. You listen closely, trying to work out the best deals around. Time will pass automatically here. As the party member with the highest trade skill of 3, which is pretty nice to start out at, you try to figure out the best goods to trade in. You find out the following. Buying ale here and selling it as Saifina would bring a profit of 38 dinars per item. Buying flax bundle here and selling it as Saifina would bring a profit of 14 dinars per item. Buying grain here and selling it as South Pass would bring a profit of 7 dinars per item. So ale and flax to Saifina. Oh wait, let's head back there. Ale and flax. There's flax bundle. Ale 74. Where's Saifina though? Is it in the like a nearby location? Halfway there in. Easiest way to find Saifina is to go to notes Locations, look it up here. Belongs to Emir Shamsur of Nazarid Sultanate. Its villages are Arar and Manuma. So we'd have to go all the way down here. Dang, just to make a little bit of money. So we're not going to do that right now. But we are going to King Leonis is the Just Party. Kingdom of Aslania, 234 troops. Bunch of tough peeps there. What are the options here? Oh yeah, I already did that. Okay. So let's quick save with F12. Bong bong. Let's see. We could visit the tavern, but let's go to Grimewood. And looters patrolling. We'll recruit volunteers. The village of Grimewood seems unremarkable. The fields and orchards are busy, with villagers engaged in the tasks of the seasons. Humans and animals alike look relatively healthy and well fed. However, a small number of the outermost fields are left unsown, and some walls are in ill repair, suggesting that there are still not quite enough hands to do all the work which needs to be done. You remember that this village and the surrounding lands belong to Count Berndich of Kingdom of Aslania. The populace is indifferent to you. I'm not going to read this every time, but recruit volunteers. 4 Aslania recruits. Recruit them for 40. Nice. That's all I want to do right there at Grimewood. Let's head down to Windshire. We have 5 units, including ourselves. But that's not going to be enough to take on these bandits. Hopefully Windshire has something first. There's a battle going on. Recruit volunteers. 2 Tamuzian tribesmen. So there we go. We have more than 5 men. Battle looters. 1 out of 5 troops versus mounted skeletons and skeletons. Wow, some undead fighting there. Let's quick save again and head back. I'm gonna not jump into that. Could be interesting though if we did jump in and scoop up the red dragonkind, scoop up the loot that's left behind. But let's head to Leon Fair and meet Homie in the tavern, saying we have enough men now. It's following the caravan. It's nighttime now. Visit the tavern. Let's see what's what. There's the merchant. There's the wandering minstrel. Greetings to you, most noble sir. What is it you do? I compose and write songs for the lords of the land and their ladies. Sometimes I sing about war, sometimes about the virtues of kings, about the virtues of wine. Sometimes that's for the more sophisticated audiences. For most audience, however, I sing of love. Can I answer any other questions for you? Got the romance stuff. Tell me about marriage and love among the nobility of Aejdaria. Nobles are an odd lot. In Aejdaria, a daughter is a political asset to be given away to a lord with whom her father wishes to make an alliance. Yet the great families of this land idealize pure love between man and woman, and I have seen many a hardened warrior weep copious tears at the doomed ardor of Sahira and Janan in the songs, even as he made plans to break his own daughter's heart. Fathers differ, of course. Some Aejdaria nobles will let their daughters choose a husband who pleases them. Others, however, feel that to allow their daughters any choice at all would be to diminish their own authority and insist on imposing a groom whether she likes it or not. But the majority will steer a middle course. They will want to make the final decision about a groom, but they will weigh their daughter's preferences heavily. Among other factors, a happy marriage is more likely to produce heirs, so there is a place for courtship and for the use of skill and passion to win a lady's heart. Do you have any other questions? What's the advantage in seeking a wife? Ah, you're quite the romantic, I see. Well, aside from the obvious benefits of love, companionship, and other, domestic matters, to marry among the nobility brings great assets. You may forge a strong alliance with the bride's family, and a wife may also assist you in manipulating the politics of the realm to your advantage. What's more, most of the great families of Aejdaria have at some point intermarried with royalty, which would boost your own claim to rule, should you ever choose to assert it. Well, that's pretty cool. What if a lady and her father disagree about a suitor? It happens sometimes that a bride elopes. This is a major blow to the father's prestige, leading to lasting enmities. Indeed, it is possible that a war may be fought over a woman. Now, that is a fine topic for a song. In the end, however, most brides will submit to their parents' choice. A noble woman's family is everything to her, and few are brave enough to risk its disapproval for the sake of man she barely knows. She may pine for her lover, but still accept the groom, and without tragic love, what would we have to sing about? Do you have any other questions? Is there a place for me in the game of love? Of course! Aejdaria lords make a great deal of lineage. But in the end, lands and money speak louder than one's ancestors. Even though you are a foreigner, if you are coming up in the world, then many parents will consider you a fine catch. You'll have to compete with many other lords of your realm, however, who will have an advantage. They have known these ladies from childhood and will have been sized up as grooms by carefully discerning mothers and aunts. Some ladies may be fascinated by the stranger, yet opt for the familiar. So know this, you may have your heart broken, but to enter the arena of love fearing heartbreak is like entering the battlefield fearing the enemy's arrows. Be brave and shrug off the sting of rejection, and victory may yet be yours. Okay, how would a suitor meet a lady? Every so often, a king or great lord of Aejdaria will hold a feast. In towns, they will often be accompanied by tournaments, and in castles, they will be accompanied by hunts. The feasts provide a chance for the lords to repair some of the rivalries that may undermine the strength of the realm. They also provide an opportunity for families to show off their eligible daughters, and ladies will often be allowed to mingle unsupervised with the guests. If you have the opportunity, you may attempt to pay the lady a compliment. This indicates to her that you're a potential suitor, and she will usually know if she wishes to continue your suit. Incidentally, if you come to her fresh from having distinguished yourself in the tournament or in the hunt, then you may make a stronger first impression than otherwise. Okay, having met a lady, how would the suitor woo her? To woo a lady takes a certain amount of time and patience and several meetings spaced over a period of months. A lady who is interested in you will often find ways of letting you know if she wishes you to come visit her. Alternately, you may simply go and ask her father or brother for permission. If you do not have permission from her guardian, it may be possible to arrange an assignation through other means. Having arranged an assignment, you may then attempt to charm her and win her favor. Perhaps one of the most difficult aspects of this is finding a topic of conversation. Most Aejdarian noblewomen lead a cloistered life, at least until they are married, and thus will have little to say that will interest you. On the other hand, she will soon tire of hearing of your own deeds in the outside world. One time-tested mode of courtship is simply to recite a popular poem and discuss it. This way, you are both on an equal footing, and neither will have an advantage of knowledge or experience. Of course, different ladies will have different tastes in poetry. At some point, you'll be able to discuss directly the issue of marriage. She will then let you know if you measure up to what she wants in a husband. Some ladies will coolly assess who's the most prestigious of her suitors. Others will be guided by their passions. Some will look to you for companions to see whether will look to your companions to see whether you are kind of husband who will treat her as an equal, while others will follow the lead of their fathers. At any rate, it is a challenging business, and do not forget you may find that your suit prospers with a lady only to have it falter on a father's political ambitions. So you must ask yourself, are you willing to risk disappointment and heartbreak? Alternately, Are you willing to throw away your standing in society to make enemies of allies in pursuit of a forbidden love? Because if you are, then perhaps someday we will write poems about you. Okay. So that's pretty interesting, guys. A romance system. I dig it. It's different. No, that's all. Is there anything else? Interesting, different, like, not of the norm type of romance system. I don't know if this is base Warband or the module. I'm not sure. Tell me about eligible maidens. Do you know of any ongoing feasts? Can you teach me any poems? I can teach you the poem, The Storming of the Castle of Love. It is short enough to be easily learned. It's an allegoric poem replete with symbols and metaphor. It describes how a brave but rough warrior wins the heart of the lady by learning the virtues of chivalry, becoming a true and noble knight. Its theme, that the role of a woman is to inspire but also civilize a man, is appreciated by some noble ladies, but not all. To teach it to you, I will need some hours of your time, and of course a small fee for my services. About 300 dinars would suffice. Never mind. Is there anything else? That's it for now. Goodbye. Merchant of Lean Fair. Zakron Horseman. Do you have a need for mercenaries, sir? Me and 5 of my mates are looking for a master. We'll join you for 1,596 dinars. That sounds good, but I can't afford to hire any more men right now. That's a pity. Well, we will be lingering around here for a while if you need to hire anyone. Metis. Blessings upon you, fellow believer. Come and listen, for this time the end is surely upon us, but do not fear, for heaven's declared the final crusade. You too, brother. What is this crusade you speak of? I am Metis, brother, a cleric spreading the good word of heavens. Heaven spoke to me and warned me of a danger growing in the east, the undead menace once again. The undead have been defeated by the good people of Aejdaria before, but they haven't been completely eradicated. The minions of Dracolich arose from the dead once again, and the minions of the Vampire Queen aren't any less of a threat. Don't you people realize? It's the year 999. Dragons will return for their vengeance too. So will the White Dragon, our savior. We must prepare. Aejdaria needs every hand for this crusade, and here I am, away from my duties as a village preacher, and looking for a company of warriors willing to take on the holy cause. I might be leading the company you've been looking for. I knew you were the chosen one. May heavens bless you and your men. Also, you will find me most helpful to your cause. In addition to knowing my way around the mace and the staff, I can smite your enemies with divine power, and heal the wounds of your soldiers, and preach them to raise their morale. Sounds good, brother. I've decided to hire you. Good. Give me a few moments to prepare, and I'll be ready to move. Nice. Metis, join your party. Traveler. Greetings, friend. You look like the kind of man who'd do well to know me. I travel a lot all across Aejdaria and keep an open ear. I can provide you information that you might find useful, for a meager price, of course. What can you tell me about this land? Aejdaria is divided into rival kingdoms, which can neither manage to live in peace with their neighbors nor completely eliminate them. As a result, there's seldom a break to the bitter wars which plague this land and drain its lifeblood. Well, at least you must be a good place to be for an adventurer such as yourself. This must be a good place for you. With some luck and skill, you can make a name for yourself here, amass a fortune perhaps, or gain great power. Opportunities are endless, and so are the rewards if you're willing to risk your life for them. Tell me more about these opportunities. The kingdoms will pay good money for mercenaries if they're engaged in a war. If you've done a bit of fighting, speaking with one of their lords will probably result in being offered a mercenary contract. However, the real rewards come if you can manage to become a vassal to a king. A vassal can own villages, castles, and towns, and get rich with the taxes and revenues of the estates. Normally, only nobles of the realm own land in this way, but in time of war, a king will not hesitate to accept someone who distinguishes himself on the battlefield as a vassal and grant him the right to own land. It's not unheard of for adventurers to renounce allegiance to an Aejdaria king altogether, declare themselves kings, and claim land in their own name. This is a difficult path, however, as the great nobles of the land, with their long ancestries, are not likely to accept such upstarts as their monarch. Such rulers would need to be very careful in establishing their right to rule, or they would be set upon from all sides. It might be easier for an adventurer like yourself to pledge support to an existing king's rival. There are many such pretenders in Aejdaria, those who are born to the right family who go around and stir up trouble, saying they have a better claim to the throne than the current king. If those claim holders could find supporters, they could easily start civil wars, and perhaps even replace the king one day. Interesting, where can I find these claim holders? A claim holder's life would be in danger in his own country, of course. Therefore, they usually stay at rival courts, raising support, and hoping to find someone willing to champion their cause. I usually hear news about some of them, and may be able to tell you their locations with some precision. But of course, I would ask for a little something for such a service. Yes? I want to know the location of a claimant. Whose location do you want to know? Bunch of different people. Great Shaman Zomori. I can reveal this information to you for a small price. Let's say 30 dinars. Never mind. Farewell. We don't need that information right now. We're not doing that. Tavern Keeper. Good day, dear sir. How can I help you? Have you heard of anyone in this realm who might have a job for a man like myself? Well, King Leonis the Just is often looking for mercenaries to fight in his wars. Let me think some more. I have heard that Count Quincy over in Windgate has been worried about bandits establishing a hideout in his area. You may want to speak with him. I've heard that Count Bayardus has been asking around for someone who might want work. I'd watch yourself with him, though. You may want to speak with him. There may be other work, of course. Lords and guildmasters often have other tasks which we don't hear about. Also, the villages around here frequently need help, although they'd be more likely to pay you with a wedge of cheese and goodwill than with cold hard dinars. I'll keep my ears open for other opportunities. You may want to ask again from time to time. Alright, we got Methus. Let's talk to the merchant. Quest succeeded. Splendid work. You've hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Leonfair have told us that there's a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them and make them disclose the location of their lair. Why don't you come with us? Because I'm paying you to go take care of it. That's the short answer. The long answer is that I've got some leads to follow up here in town, and I have just as much a chance of getting knocked on my head as you, if that's what you're asking. But I respect your question. Now, what do you say? Very well, I shall hunt for the bandits. Alright, Wandering Minstrel. Okay, let's hit tab. Leave. We can't recruit an Eslani Paladin. We'll quick save. And there should be robbers out here somewhere. Oh, there they are, band of robbers. There's 4 of them versus 8 of us. What do you want? I've been looking for you. Tell me where you keep your prisoners and I'll let you go. Ha! Those prisoners are only going free if you pay their ransom. Did you bring any silver? No, but I brought steel. Check out the hat I'm wearing. Alright, you've encountered a band of robbers. You have 8 troops fit for battle against their 4. Alrighty then, let's charge the enemy. Bong bong, our first combat. Oh, I'm on a horse. I have a horse. Wait up for my peeps. We'll go with them. It's nighttime, so it's a little more difficult seeing things. I've got my bow out. Takes forever to reload. I don't think I delivered any damage yet. Gotcha. Let's use the throwing knives. Gotcha. Alright, killed by Aejdaria, 30 XP. Did we kill everyone? Yep. Oh, our casualties. 4 Aslanian recruits. 3 were killed, 1 were wounded. 3 killed, 1 wounded. 1 killed, 3 wounded for them. Aye, spare me, spare my life. Let me go and I'll go far away from here and learn an honest trade. You'll never hear from me again. I'll spare your life, but in exchange I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him and give me your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts, and you can go free. Oh, bless you, sir, bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in our hideout near Mainville. I'll describe the area nearby in detail so there's no mistaking it. Alright, we've got 2 looters. We can capture them as prisoners. Methus was 23% wounded. We only have 1 Aslanian recruit left. Done. Morale is excellent. And we've got some loot here. Sturdy rawhide coat. It's not better than what we're using. Tattered nomad armor and stones. I guess for slings and a ragged woolen cap. We'll just take all this stuff for sellable in the future. There we are, bong bong. But we need... There's a kidnapper's hideout. We need more men, so let's head to Mainville. Let's actually come here for a second. Okay. Recruit volunteers, 2 Aslanians. Look at our party. Nobody leveled up. Not even Methus, who was hurt. Let me see your equipment. Very well, it's all here. Smite 1, nice. 40 blunt damage. Requires 1 magic power. Heals the caster. It's got a quarterstaff and that, a robe. Wrapping boots. No helmet though, so we'll give him this ragged woolen cap. Bong bong. 4-head armor now. 21 to body armor instead of a robe. Probably give him tattered nomad armor. Doesn't encumber him too much. And a knife, quarterstaff, 20 swing, 20 blunt, thrust, 20 blunt. Nice reach on it. I don't think he needs a knife or anything. I think that getting him out of the robe is a good idea. I don't know. Tell me about your skills. He's level 4. Only has 11 health left. Good charisma. 8 strength, 7 agility, 9 intelligence. He's got a 10 in power throw. He's good at throwing. Should get him throwing weapons. 7 riding. Get him a horse maybe. Good healing. Since he has power throw, let's give him these throwing knives instead of the quarterstaff. I'll take on the quarterstaff. I'd like to ask you something. Do you have any connections that we can use to our advantage? Brother, I can go visit my friends and teachers from my training as a cleric in Swanmore. As virtuous as they are, the clergy has a bad habit of gossip. I'm sure they'll give me the information you need about happenings in the Tamuzian Confederacy. So that would send him off on that. So hold off for now. Anything else? Okay. We have to rest. There's the kidnapper's hideout. Getting a little choppy for some reason. Let's head to Eldermore. quick save along the way. Very cool thus far. We're going to try to recruit more peeps. 4 Aslanians, nice. 40 dinars. Buy supplies from the peasants. We have 2 dinars, so we're not buying much of anything. Let's sell that. The robe. The knife. And the stones, really. Nobody has a sling. They only sell for 1 apiece. We're up to 15 dinars. Buying price 19. Just village elder. I can't afford 13 dinars. I have only 0. Okay, let's not sell it to him then. Received. Oh, he has 0 dinars, so no cost. See how long I've been playing. 56 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, and say thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Also, guys, if you want to be a huge help to my channel, you can become a member. Info and links are in the description of this video for that. Feel free to check that out. And thanks to my 3 members, who I love very much, I'm able to buy games like this each month. Usually 1 indie game. When the money hits, I get to check out a new game, and it's very fun, so I'm really appreciative of that. But love all you guys. I hope to see you all next episode. We're going to keep this moving and checking it out. Very cool so far. Game saved. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, be well, live well, stay well. And much love, peace, and joy. Don't go anywhere. Checking out more Legacy of the Dragon next time. Ciao for now.